Chapter 23. 5 minutes pass since I last spoke. 5 minutes pass since the scientists heard the truth about what is happening here. James shakes his head, snapping himself out of the trance he was just in. He looks at me with a disgruntled face before turning around to talk to Baker. I try to listen, but I soon realize they are talking in a foreign language. The only language I know is English, but I have been getting better at Latin. They sound as though they are speaking French, so I do not understand anything they say. My mood darkens when James and Baker finally turn around. James now holds a scalpel, while Baker holding a large professional video camera. I watch nervously as they take slow steps towards me, as if they are assessing my next move or where they are going to use that scalpel. Their eyes are scanning over me and I suddenly feel scared. I feel like prey to a predator that I know I won't escape from. Mr. James finally grabs me by the arm tightly. He pushes my top up a little bit and pulls on my arm so it becomes straight. I squeal under his hard hold. Without a second hesitation, he pulls up the scalpel and digs it deep into the skin on my elbow. I scream loud and lash out, but it only causes more pain in my arm. I cry out as he pulls the scalpel down my arm and doesn't stop until the sharp blade reaches my wrist. Blood seeps from the new wound and drops onto the floor. Soft whimpers escape my mouth on their own as the stinging pain rushes through my arm. Healing test 1. I watch carefully as Baker hands him a different scalpel that looks less shiny but still looks terrifyingly sharp. He proceeds to walk over to my other side and rolls my sleeve up. I shriek as he pinches my skin with the sharp blade. I clench my fists tightly, trying to control the cries that are desperate to escape. They burn my eyes, but I will not let them see me as weak. I know they think werewolves are anomalies, but we are just different. But most human beings are scared of different. They can't seem to handle it, so higher ranks of people take it upon themselves to secretly get rid of or study anything that's different to what they know. They think I am an animal. Well, I am. An animal who will kill and destroy everything, but little do they know we have coexisted with them for thousands of years. I know so many werewolves who have left pack to go study in an all-human school. They've never once been detected because we can control ourselves. John. Wendy. Subject 18 is sedated and back in her cell. A female pops her head in the door that the two large men are still guarding, even though I obviously can't go anywhere. Her eyes move from John and Wendy to look at me. Her eyes widen slightly as she watches the blood drip from my arms. I glare at her the best I could. If she works for them, then she deserves no other treatment than that. She instantly lowers her eyes. Even though they are human, they should be able to get a slight vibe of my higher status. Thank you, Alice. You may leave, John says, turning his back on her to examine my arms. She nods and leaves without another word. I hate this feeling. This useless feeling. I'm so helpless and actually scared at this moment. I don't know if anyone will ever be able to find me here. I'll be stuck here until they decide I'm too out of date and most likely kill me. I mean, I'm subject 23. They must have 23 other wolves here unless some have died and I'm just taking their place. John claps his hand in victory as he glances from my left to my right arm. The pain has substantially subsided from the left, but the right still hurts like hell. Silver. They must have used silver, the asswipes. I glance down and wince at the sight of all the blood. My left arm is covered in blood still, but there is no sign of any wound or even a graze. My right arm is another story. The blood is still seeping from the long open cut, and the pain is slowly becoming more and more unbearable. The silver has burned my skin as well as cut extremely deeply. Too deep. I know I've lost a lot of blood and I can already feel my body wanting to give up. There is no doubt that if I wasn't supernatural being, then I would be knocked unconscious right now. Healing test 1, completed. Silver blade causes more lasting damage and is painful for a longer period of time. Non-silver blade causes short period of pain and healed quicker than the average human. John speaks into the small camera. I feel my head fall back against the headrest and my head starts to pound. I'm tired, so tired. John, you really stitch up the subject now. Wendy speaks up, being the first to notice my tiredness. Right now I would rather die than stay here for the rest of my life and be their test subject. Subject 23. They don't even know my name. They probably don't even know how old I am. Then again, they did steal me from the castle. Wait a moment. How the heck did they get past all the security, and not to mention how they hid their scent from all the werewolves in the entire kingdom? I mean, come on. I was standing in my mate's arms. How did he not notice, or how did we not hear anyone coming in? Aren't there guards monitoring the cameras throughout the castle and town? Unless there was someone in our pack who isn't as fair before as they seem. No, surely not. I don't believe that anyone would be disloyal to Jayden and I. John sighs rather loudly. Obviously, he doesn't want to stitch me up. He grabs a needle and some sort of thread from the table beside me. My vision has started to blur now. My mind is sharp and aware of the sharp utensil that is getting dangerously close to my arm. The metallic smell of my own blood fills the room, and I instantly feel sick from it. I gasp as I feel the needle pierce my skin by the wound. The pain isn't as bad as I thought, but I can't help the gasps and groans that escape my lips. John's expression stays emotionless throughout the entire process. Wendy watches through the camera lens, and I bare my teeth at her. She jumps back in shock, but it doesn't last long. Soon she just gives me an annoyed look and carries on with what she was doing. All done, Wendy. Guards take her back to her cell and give her some more mind-block drug and some wolfsbane. For now, John speaks out into the eerie silence of the room. Also, get Alice to come mop up all this blood. Yes, sir, the guards nod in sync. They walk over to me without looking at me as I stare at them with hatred, pure absolute hatred. I wonder how much they get paid to torture a young girl who has a family and loved ones out there. I wonder if they have loved ones out there. I wonder if they have loved ones out there. I wonder if they know what these two men are doing. Until tomorrow, little Wolf John sneers as the large men pull me out of the room. My feet drag on the floor and I feel my eyes starting to close. The white walls fly by and soon the gloom-dark cells are visible. I hear the cries and shouts of the other wolves in the cells that lay by my own cell. My own cell. How weird. I wonder how long I will be calling it that. I hear the sound of a lock unlocking just before the guards roughly throw me into the barred room. I stumble on my feet but manage to catch myself with my hands before I fall onto the floor. The air is a lot colder down here, but I don't care anymore. I curl up in the corner of the small room and wrap my arms around myself. I close my eyes and imagine that Jayden is here with me. My whole body yearns for him, and every single second that I am not with him, my heartache is in my chest. The stupid scientists have obviously given me something to disallow me from mind-linking Jayden. All I want is to hear his voice, to have him tell me that everything will be okay and that he will be here soon. But life doesn't work that way. There are no miracles in this world, only coincidences. If you're lucky, then you will have some awesome coincidences in your life. If not, you'll be stuck in a tight, speared, damp cell wishing for your coincidence so you can finally go home. My home has changed so much in the past couple of months. The academy is, and always will be, my first home. The place that I grew up, even if most of it was a school that I wasn't really allowed to attend, but I did anyway. My parents and brothers were always there, making me laugh and sometimes making me cry. My chest aches as at the thought of having seen them moments before benign snatched away. I've missed them so much and only got to see them for such a short time. Now, I don't even know if I'll ever see them again. I haven't seen my brothers since I moved away, and I miss them. They weren't able to come see because of safety in school. I swear that if I get out of here, I'm going to see them. Even if it means running away from the castle, because if I'm honest, when or if I get out of here, Jayden will never let me out of his sight again. Not that I'll complain, really. All I want is to be in his embrace right now. To have his muscular arm wrapped around my waist tightly, making me feel so small in them. For him to kiss my forehead as he holds me and tell me funny stories of his day. For him to tell me that he wants me to help him with his duties. For him to tell me all about what will happen when we are crowned. For him to tell me how amazing our crowning day will be, standing side by side in front of all wolves. I never thought I would love Jayden. When we first met, I hated him for taking me away from my family. I didn't believe we were mates. I couldn't have been more wrong. I have fallen for him so far and so hard that I can't quite believe it myself. I love him, and he loves me. We aren't just mates, we are connect. Our souls are bonded to each other. Whatever his soul is made of, mine is made of the exact same thing. We are one as a whole. I love him and I know he is on his way. But if something goes wrong, then I will not hesitate to stop him getting hurt. Even if it means dying myself. The world needs their alpha king, and nobody is better than Jayden. I feel the tears falling from my eyes, but I don't open them, because as long as they are closed, I can't see the nightmare in front of me. All I see is Jayden and my family. My loved ones. Chapter 24. Days have started to sow into weeks by now. I lost count after day 5. I have slowly started to quiet down. I no longer have the strength to fight back or try to escape. I'm constantly tired now. Since I arrived, I have had 4 more healing tests, which were all cutting my skin with a scalpel. 1 on my leg, 1 on my foot, 1 on my back, and 1 on my neck. They will scar because they use silver. I've also had a fitness test where they put me on a treadmill. They monitored my heart rate, and every so often they would increase the speed until eventually I was sent flying backwards. The bruises have yet to fade from my back and waist. Most of my time here has been spent in my cell, waiting. Just waiting. I watch as the other wolves are dragged back and forth, each looking as dull and damaged as the last. There was a newbie yesterday. He has one hell of a temper on him, and of course he is in the cell right opposite me. His shouts keep me awake all night, but it's not like I could sleep anyway. The scientists haven't been down to collect anyone yet, which is weird. Every morning is the same. A loud, annoying bell rings, making us all wake up, and not long after the scientists come down to collect the day's victim. The bell rang ages ago, but someone has yet to come down here yet. That's odd. We are all silent in pieces, and I know we are all doing the same thing, waiting for the bad. The lights in the cells are very dim, so I can't see most of the other wolves, but the fright is apparent in the air. I can smell their anxiety, and I can feel the fear rolling around in the air. I do not fear what they are planning or what they are going to do to me. I fear that Jayden is going to get himself killed by trying to save me. I have attempted to mind link him since I thought it was possible because we aren't near Wolfbane. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I found out that the scientists are injecting us with some sort of mind-blocking serum. My wolf is depressed and stays in the back of my mind. She is slowly weakening from being apart from her mate. It doesn't help that we were taken a day after fully mating with Jayden. It feels like we are incomplete. We haven't had the chance to be happy together or tell the pack about our mating. We haven't even got our Luna and Alpha positions together yet. I sit up when I hear the cell door opening from the staircase above. I let a growl slip from my mouth as footsteps descend the long staircase. The male wolf opposite me stands next to the cell-barred entrance. His canines are poking out from his lips, and his claws have fully extended. I quickly spring to my feet. What the hell does he think he is doing? I walk over to the barred wall of my cell and snarl at him. He looks over to me and growls back. I am startled at first, but I realize he doesn't know me yet, but I am fully mated to a royal, which makes me royal. Suddenly my wolf springs to life. She doesn't like being disrespected. I stand up tall and growl with all that my Luna ability allows. He instantly cowers back, and I notice his claws and canines retract. He falls to his knees and shows his neck in submission. I nod at him. I freeze as a low, cold voice speaks up from the bottom of the staircase to my left. Well, you must be important if you have them bowing to you. His voice is like chalk scraping on a blackboard. I stare at him, making sure I show no emotion towards what he is saying. He is standing opposite me now with an evil grin on his face. He states, waving his arms around, gesturing to me. We should have known. Your beauty is prominent, and we can't deny that we feel the power you hold. I stare at him emotionlessly, but he just smirks at me instead. I can see the puzzles piece joining up in his head, but he is still missing one. You're an alpha female. Well, we should have known. Now, little wolf, we can have some fun, he says, taking a step towards me. I instantly step away without a moment of hesitation. The silver-coated bars are in between us, but they don't affect humans, so he could easily reach in and punch me or touch me. You're lucky that we are a little too busy for you today, he says. He starts to walk away, but before he disappears he shouts, but there is still tomorrow. I stand rigid in the middle of my cell, listening to his fading footsteps and to the increasingly louder growls from the others. I let out a relieved sigh as I hear the metal door slam. I know tomorrow is not going to be good, but at least I know that today I can rest and get my strength up. I slowly make my way into the corner of my cell that I have chosen to be my floor bed. It's the least coldest spot in this small square wolf cage. I slid down against the wall until I'm sitting with my back and side leaning on the cornered wall. This spot is sheltered from the cold air that is pumped through the ceiling vents. When I say cold air, I don't mean cool air, I mean freezing air. It's horrible, especially because all I'm wearing is an ugly ripped brown top and panties. I don't know when I was last changed or washed. The women who obviously work for the scientists are supposed to give us baths and changed our clothes, but that's not every day. It's every week, at least maybe every other week. Like I said, I've lost track of time by now. I should have done one of those tally charts that you see people in movies do whenever they're trapped to count the weeks or days they've been stuck. But I know the number would haunt me, so in a way is best that I don't know, therefore I don't get hung up on it. I know it's been a while, but some days have felt like hours or minutes in my eyes. I do just want to go home, but I know that I will be stuck here for a while longer. My head snaps up when I hear the heavy metal door creaking open. Footsteps descend quickly, and soon a men and a woman come into my view. I'm the first cell to the left at the bottom of the long stairwell that leads out of the cells. Those steps haunt me because I know that soon I'll be too weak to get up them. Cell 2 needs to be unlocked and ready to be loaded in about 30 minutes, the man says to the woman who looks scared, but her head bows obediently. Yes, sir, she whispers in a quiet tone that even I, being a werewolf with super hearing, couldn't hear very well. Keep the door open and do not leave your post. Beware, if one of these creatures gets hold of you, they will grab those keys and kill you. He spits, giving me a death glare. I glare back as he walks back up the stairs in a rush. I stand up and walk over to the front of my cell. I look up the stairs at the closed door, then turn to face the woman. She looks frightened and pale as she stares at me. Her hands are shaking, making the keys jingle. I can see the other wolves eyeing her up, so I snarl loudly and as ferociously as I could. They all instantly whimper and back away into the corners of their individual cells. The woman looks around, shocked, before turning around to look at me. Her eyes show respect, and I know she is thankful, but she doesn't say anything. She looks down to the ground and walks into the cell. I watch her walk sluggishly into the empty cell next to me before turning to the other wolves. They all stand by their cell doors, watching and waiting. I know they are all wondering the same thing as me. What is going on? I look around and smile at the other trapped wolves around me. They all seem pretty friendly, but I can't really tell whether they are rogue or in a pack. The scent of blood and mold is too strong. I can only see 4 other cells from my cell. Opposite me is the anger management male wolf, who is standing by his cell door with his fists clenched. To my left is the empty cell, but I can see into the one next to it. It holds another male wolf, but this one is in his mid-40s, and he seems a lot calmer. Then I can see a female wolf in the one diagonal to me. She has long red hair and has the body of a model. Her hair is matted, and she is covered in bruises. I give her a sympathetic smile, to which she returns with a polite bow of her head. Sometimes I hate it when people bow because I hate feeling like I'm above people. I like to think that we are all equal, but I guess it is a wolf's natural instinct to respect its Luna and treat her right. My wolf likes her status because it comes with Jay, but I know she wouldn't care if Jayden was an average wolf, or even an Omega. From what I can tell, nobody in the cells has a particularly high status, but that could be wrong because there could be move wolves elsewhere. I snap my head to the woman who has now emerged from the cell to stand behind the door instead. She looks at me directly in the eye before bowing her head forward. I can sense her sorrow, and it makes me instantly want to give her a hug. "I'm so sorry," she whispers softly, and without my advanced hearing I don't think I would have heard it. I look at her in shock, and I hear a couple of surprises, muffled gasps. I can't believe she said that. I mean, I knew she wasn't exactly like the others, but I didn't realize that she would apologize. Maybe she could help us escape. Maybe, just maybe. The door above slams open and the shouts enter the cells. They bounce off the wall, making me wince. This new wolf sounds pained. I glance around to see everyone retreating to the back of their cells, whimpering. I raise my eyebrow and start to turn my head. Before I get to see anything, I feel immense pain on the side of my head. I cry out in pain and fall to the floor. My ears start to ring, but I still manage to hear a loud growl. I grip my head in my hands and cry. My hands are covered in blood and my head has started spinning. I hear a cell door slam shut, and then I hear my name being called. My wolf springs to life in my mind, but I'm too far out. My vision is beginning to black, but I'm still curious to see who the new wolf is, so I let my head fall to the side as I lay on the cold ground. My heart stops at the familiar face next to me. Just as the darkness takes me, I whisper his name. Jayden. Chapter 25. My head pounds painfully, making me wince. I clench my eyes shut even tighter and move my hand to hold my head. I feel the dried blood straight away and internally sigh. What happened? Oh yeah, somebody knocked me out. I remember hearing wolves whimpering and then pain on my head. There was something else I remember before I passed out, but I have no idea what it was. I shake my head trying to remember what was so important, but my head just thumps painfully instead, but I have to know what was so important. I let out a pained groan as once again my brain beats against my skull. It hurts to just think. I jump at the sound of my name being called. That voice, I know that voice. My wolf stirs in my mind and it hits me like a frying pan. Jayden. How can I hear Jayden's voice? Have I gone mad? Has all their torture finally broke me mentally? Melody. Wake up, there he is again. He sounds so close and I yearn to touch him. To feel his muscles ripple against my skin as he holds me. To feel the tickle of his stubble as he kisses me. I sit up in fright at a loud, scary snarl that bounces on the concrete walls of the cells. I blink rapidly as my eyes try to register the new light in front of me. My eyes slowly start to get used to the new light and I look around. To my dismay, I am still in my rotten cement cell. It wasn't just a dream. I curse under my breath and look around again. I stop at the anger management male wolf that lives opposite me. He is staring at something behind me and this sends a shiver up my spine. What could be behind me? Is it dangerous? Did the scientists set a trap for me for when I awaken? I gulp and turn around slowly. The fear creeps in every second that I turn further towards the mystery thing behind me. I hear my name being called again, but my ears are still ringing. I stop what I am doing and lift my hand up to my ear. I feel something that is liquid and thick. I cringe as I move my hand away. Blood. The red liquid stains my fingertips and I almost gag at the sight. No wonder I still could hear that ringing. I find a corner of my bed sheet and tear of a small square. I gently wipe and clean out my ear. Soon the ringing halts and I internally dance in joy. I can hear. Then I hear it and my whole body freezes solid. No, it can't be. Melody, his voice is strong and masculine. It makes me want to run straight into his arms and hug him until neither of us can breathe. I turn around sharply and look directly into those electric blue eyes that I love so much. I let a sob escape my mouth at the sight of him. It's been so long since I last saw him. My wolf is howling for him and I can feel my soul aching to go to him. He looks so beaten up. He is shirtless and I can see all the cuts and whip marks that stain his gorgeous defined chest. The large barred cell wall blocks us off, but that won't stop me hugging him. Jayden, I cry. I hop off the bed and run straight to him. He stands pressed against the bars, waiting for me with his arms already through the gaps. As soon as his fingertips touch my bare skin, the tingles warm me up. I slip my arms through the bars and around him as we hug with the bars between us. Oh my God, Jayden. I missed you so much. I sob into his shoulder. I can tell he is trying not to cry and I can hear his fast heartbeat. Melody, I can't even explain how much I missed you. I was so worried about you. You just disappeared. Nobody had any idea where you had gone. I searched everywhere, but there was nothing. You were just gone. He says, gripping onto me as if his life depended on it. I love you, he whispers into my ear and I laugh at him. I look up into his eyes that are full of unshed tears. I love you so much, Jay, I reply. Then I carefully manage to press a soft kiss on his lips. A smirk takes over his face and he doesn't let go of me. Instead, he makes us both sit down. Are you all right? He asks, stroking my cheek with his finger. His eyes are roaming down my body and they become hard and angry. He knows the answer, but he wants to know from me because not all scars can be seen. I am right now, I answer with a small smile. Are you? He sighs as I softly trace down a fresh scar on his chest. I'm fine. It was necessary for me to see you, Melody. I would die for you, so a couple of scars isn't so bad. Don't say that, I scold him, although I know where he is coming from. Our mate bond is strong and I would die for him. I would choose death over a life without him. It's the truth, Melody. I would do anything for you to be safe and have a fantastic life, he says, making me look him in the eye. I love you and I don't want to lose you, ever. How did you find me, I ask, realizing that I didn't even know where I was, so how could he? I had a lot of help. Hacks from all over America came to give me information on who could have taken you. Most talked of wolves missing and that they have managed to track them here. We are 3 stories underground and it is almost undetectable. Above us there is a large factory that has been abandoned for centuries. Many packs and ours ambushed it, but it was empty. We were so thrown off because one of these wolves were being tracked and we were right on top of that spot. We could not find any form of stairs, so after hours of searching we went back to the drawing board. Then a miracle happened. One member of our pack volunteered to be taken by the scientists so he could give us the whereabouts. We knew where the scientists strike the most. They seem to go to the exact same places in packs to catch any lone wolves, but you, Melody, were the odd one out. They infiltrated our pack and risked breaking into the castle to capture you. As I was saying, this wolf was injected with a small, untraceable tracker. When he left a group of the royal guards and I followed him, and we saw those bastards taking him down a secret set of stairs in the factory. I followed alone and was caught, but I know that those guards would go back and tell the others where we are. Holy crap. I stare at him, trying to digest all this new information. He got all American packs to work together just to find me. Most of them probably risked their lives to find the information that brought Jayden here. And what will happen now they know? Does this mean a war? You're the future queen of all wolves, Melody. All packs would do anything to save you, he says, kissing my hand. That's when it snapped in me and I snatched my hand from him. He gave a confused look and I saw the hurt in his eyes. You came down here alone. I say, raising my voice slightly, Jayden, how you could do that, I just don't know. You put your life at risk and you abandoned the pack members. Do you realize how dangerous that was? You should have just left me. I am not worth risking all those lives. Jayden growls lowly, and he looks angry. Don't say that ever again, Melody. You are worth 1,000,000 lives and I would never leave you. I would much rather die, because being without you is a much worse fate. Everyone who has helped me has helped on their own will. They want to help rescue you. You've captured so many hearts, including mine. I wipe the tears that were falling freely from my eyes. He reaches out and grabs my hands. His thumb rubs soothing circles on my palm and I slowly dissolve into him. I don't want people to die because of me, I whisper, trying not to sob. Melody, all wolves believe it is an honor to die for their queen, he says, speaking gently as if I am about to break. I'm not weak, but I can't let wolves die just for me. Who was the wolf that volunteered, I ask, the curiosity gripping hold of me suddenly. I watch as Jayden's eyes slowly wander over to the anger management wolf, who is smiling proudly at us. No way. No wonder he was so angry all the time. He probably thought he was failing to save his Luna and queen. Luna, he bows respectfully. It is nice to finally get to talk to you. My name is Eric. Thank you. The words pour from my mouth before I can stop them. Not that I want them to stop. I can't believe you would risk your life for Jayden and me. I can feel how proud Jayden is as he smiles at his well-trained, loyal pack member. Of course, Luna, any pack member would have. We all want our alpha couple safely home together. I would have wanted the same treatment for my mate if she was taken, Eric says, giving me a sad sort of smile. His smile turns into an angry scowl when the sound of the dungeon door opens. I immediately rush away from Jayden and sit on the bed. He snarls angrily and looks at me expectantly. They can't know we all know each other, or they might torture us to get to the other. It's the safest option right now, Jay. We are in their control right now, whether we like it or not. He growls under his breath again, but nods stiffly. He stands up and sits on the floor by his bed and leans back against the hard frame. I don't like this, he whispers faintly, but I caught it. Before I had time to reply, Doctor. James comes into view and I stiffen. It was my turn and Jayden is not going to like this at all. He stares at me with an evil smirk on his face and gestures for the guard to open the cell door. I watch from the edge of my bed as James slowly makes his way into my cell. From the corner of my eye, I see Jayden start to move, I want to shout for him to stay put, but I couldn't, not with Doctor. James staring at me. "Good morning, Melody," he speaks. Miss Baker stands behind him with a notepad. She looks at me with no emotion on her face at all. I reply with a slight nod. "Grab her. It's time for the healing tests again, Melody." "I think we will use this today," he says, taking a handgun from his pocket. 2 large guards come in and grab me tightly around the upper arms. I don't even attempt to struggle because my previous attempts have caused me more bad than good. I hear Jayden growling quietly, and although only the wolves can hear it, I want him to stop. He is making my heart squeeze tightly. I don't want to make him watch my pain, but I have no choice. "I'm sorry," I whisper so he can hear, just as I am dragged away by the guards and he is no longer in my sight. I hope we are saved soon. Chapter 26. Time flies when you're having fun. I scowl at my own thoughts. Although this is true, it also means the exact opposite. Time is cruel. It slows down when you don't want it to. It takes your feelings and crushes them into a million pieces. Time slows as I'm dragged away towards my dreadful fate by these 2 large men. I knew where I was going. I was going to the testing room today. James walked in front of us swinging the handgun in the hand. He was tormenting me with it. I can see it in his eye as he looks back at me. The smirk on his face is evil and grows when he notices me glancing at the gun. A disgusted shiver shoots through my spine when I look at his pleased face. Bastard. It's not long until I am being pulled into a room, but instead of being put on the chair, I'm tied tightly to the wall. My arms and hands are tied to the wall so they are touching the cold tiles. My legs are tied up too tightly, so I let out a wince of pain as they tighten it even more. There is a chain around my waist and I can feel it digging into my sides. I snarl at the man who tries to tighten it even more. He grins evilly at me before pulling the chain once more. He steps back and stands behind James. I stare at the devilish man who stands a few steps away from me. His eyes are showing his excitement, and there is no sign of remorse at all. "So, little wolf, I think it's time we added a few questions into this experiment, don't you?" he says, holding the gun in his right hand a bit higher. I don't reply or even change my facial expression. I just stare at him. "I'll take that as a yes," he smirks and raises the handgun until it points to me. "Let's start with normal bullets, shall we?" Nothing. I'm not giving him anything. He can kill me for all I care. "What's your rank in your pack?" James asks, calmly looking at me. The silence fills the room as I continue to stare straight into his eyes. My face is emotionless and I try to ensure my eyes show no feelings. "Have it your way," he says, and he pulls the trigger. I flinch and bite down on my lip hard to stop myself from screaming as the bullet pierces my leg. My eyes close on their own accord as I try to hold in my pain. I will not allow them the satisfaction of seeing me grovel in pain. I am stronger than that. I have to be. I feel the hard material in the flesh just below my knee and I itch to remove it. The pain soon subsided slightly, and I open my eyes to, once again, stare at James. My eyes flicker to Baker as she walks over to me with a large pair of tongs. She ducks down and digs out the bullet hidden in the freshly cut wound. I snarl angrily at her. The pain of the sharp tongs digging around inside my leg is almost unbearable, but soon she pulls out the bullet and scurries away. I let out a breath and turn back to James. "I'll ask you again," he starts, and I hear him cocking the gun. "What's your tank in the pack?" I fall slack against the restraints and my head bows forward. My body is too weak to hold itself anymore. I watch the blood drip from the fresh wounds and fall into a puddle of red on the white tiled floor. Both my legs have healed from the 4 ordinary bullets, but you can still see a slight trace of where they were. Over time they will become so faint that nobody will be able to see them. Then there is the silver bullets James shot at me. 1 on my hip and 2 on my abdomen. I couldn't hold in the pain any longer with those 3 shots. The silver burned through my skin and I felt it the entire time they were left in. Thankfully Baker did remove those bullets, but the pain didn't leave, and it wouldn't. The 3 wounds made by the silver would heal at a human pace and would be painful. "Tend to her wounds and put her back in her cell," James orders one of the female nurses in the room and the guards by the door. She needs to regain her strength before I can question her again. I stay silent, and still as the small red-haired woman gingerly cleans the wounds on my stomach. She places a cotton square on the 3 wounds before bandaging up my entire stomach. This covers the 3 wounds, but blood has already seeped through. As she wraps the bandage around me, she gets closer to my ear. She pretends to be tying the back as she whispers in my ear. "Be ready. They're almost here and you need to be strong enough." She pulls away and nods to the guards. I glance at her in confusion, but she only gives me a nod in return. The guards walk over to where I am still trapped and undo all of my chain. I fall to the floor as soon as there is nothing holding me up. The 2 guards grab one of my arms each and drag me down the long corridors back towards the cells. My body and Wolf perk up as I start to feel the presence of Jayden. Thankfully, with him near me, my body will be able to recover and heal quicker. Apparently, I need to be strong enough, but the question is, strong enough for what? The door of the cell flies open and the darkness inside is calming compared to the harsh white light. We descend the stairs quickly with my legs banging and bruising on each step. I keep my head down as they shove me into my cell. I fall to the solid ground and whimper from the pain in the fresh wounds. A muffled growl comes from the next cell, but I don't look because I need to be brave now. I will not let those guards have the satisfaction. I quickly stand up, ignoring the pain, and snarl at them from behind the bars. They laugh at me with evil grins plastered on their ugly faces. "Growl as much as you want, sweetheart. You're never leaving," one sneers as he locks the door and dangles the keys in his hands, taunting me. "Mr. James likes you too much," the other one adds before they both turn away and leave laughing. I stare at them until the large metal cell door slams behind them. I let a breath out and clutch my bandaged middle. The pain had subsided but came back from standing straight for too long. "Melody," Jayden shouts, finally getting up off the floor. His eyes are darkening, but his wolf is still trapped from the silver. I take a slow, deep breath and rush over to the bars that separate us. I grab his hand through the bars and collapse to the ground. He attempts to pull me closer, but I groan as my wound scraps against the hard floor. I notice him flinch before he tightened his grip. What happened? He managed to grit through his teeth. His anger is clear, and I know his wolf wants blood. "Nothing," I breathe out. "I'm fine, Jay, just tired." My eyes are already closing by themselves, but Jayden is quick to shake me awake. I let out a low whine as he maneuvers me so that I'm sitting up. He holds my hand tightly in one hand, and with his free hand he reaches through the bars to gently caress my cheek. I look up at him and smile. His eyes are bursting with concern, and I know that he doesn't believe me that I'm okay. I'm not okay. I've been trapped down here for weeks with no light or air. I've been tortured and experimented on. I've been treated like an old teddy that nobody wants but can't throw away. I've lived for weeks without my mate and my family and my pack. I know he is here with me now, but it doesn't feel real. I feel as though he is here, but not, because although we can communicate and touch, we can't actually be together. Morning will come and I will be dragged away, and I don't know if I'll return alive. Every single time that I'm taken, I assume it's the last time. "Jay," I whisper, letting my eyes close again and wanting to be tucked up in our bed with him and become tangled in his limbs. "I love you." "I love you, Melody, and don't you dare think about going to sleep," he says, jerking me forward, making me open my eyes once again. "You can't give up now. You're going to be fine." "I told you I'm fine," I say, trying to keep my eyes open. Even though I've been treated, I knew that I had lost a large amount of blood back there. "Yes, you are fine," he says with determination in his voice, "so you must stay awake, okay? Melody, you can't sleep now. I'm not tired, so stay up and talk to me." I let out a small breathless laugh and look into his eyes. His eyes are showing so many emotion. I know he is worried, and I hate that I'm the reason why. "What do you want to talk about, Jay?" Our future," he says, quickly holding both my hands in his single palm. The other hand moves from my cheek to the back of my head as it starts to grow limp. "Our future," I repeat with a smile. "Our future will be amazing, Jay. We'll be alphas and royals. We'll have a big wedding. Even though I'm not keen on them, I'll do it for the pack. I want to be with you forever." "Good, Melody, because guess what? I want to be with you for all of eternity and beyond," he replies, leaning closer to me so that I can feel his breath on my forehead. "Jay, I want you to know that if we never get eerie—" "Don't, Mel," he growls, catching me off guard. "We are getting out of here. I don't care what it takes. You are getting out of here alive, and you are going to live your life in our pack, surrounded by people who adore you. And nobody there will adore you more than me. I feel the tears well up at his words, and with no hesitation I reach through the bars and place my lips on his. Thankfully, the bars and wide enough that I could. "We're getting out of here," I repeat, breathing against his lips. His hands grip mine, and he runs a hand along my jaw and lays it to rest on my chin. "We are getting out of here," he says, determined. I watch as he turns to nod at Eric across from us, who has obviously been listening to us. "Good night, Jay," I say, feeling the tiredness finally hit me. I feel as my body goes limp and I start to fall backwards. "No, Melody, please stay awake," Jayden pleads, but he slowly places me down. He knows I can't hold out. I know that even though our mate bond is weakened, he still feel my emotions, even if they are faint. "I'm ... sorry," I breathe out slowly as I lay on the cold, hard floor beside the bar. I feel Jayden's warm hand intertwined with mine. "I'll be here when you wake up." I promise, he whispers as the darkness finally swallows me up. Chapter 27. Jayden POV. I gently brush my finger along Melody's pale skin. Her cheeks are tender and ghostly, but they are still warm. I watch as she breathes in shallowly on the hard, cold cell floor. Anger sparks inside me as I watch her injured figure attempting to find enough strength to breathe properly. This place is horrible. I've had to watch my mate be dragged away by some men and silently watch on the sidelines. I gently squeeze her soft hand before pulling away from her. I quickly walk to the front of my cell and look over at Eric. As soon as he sees my stare, he stands up and bows. I nod to him before speaking. "It's time." Melody's POV. N. I wake up screaming in fright when a large bang blows through my eardrums. I wince as I pull at the still fresh wounds. Damn it. Damn it. I look up and gasp. Jayden is gone, but how can Jayden be gone? I quickly get to my feet and rush to the bars Dang separated us. Nothing in the cell at all, and the door is laying wide open for everyone to see. The guards never do that. I look around but jump once again when another large crash comes from somewhere. Screams follow with more bangs. Shit, where is Jayden? I feel a tear fall down my cheek unwillingly. What if he is hurt? Where the hell is he? With every loud bang, I take a step towards the front of my cell. I'm curious, and I know curiosity killed the cat, but I don't care. Suddenly, as I'm about to reach the front of my cell, the large metal entrance door to the cell swings open. I gasp when I see Jayden staying there at the top of the stairs with Asher and Eric in tow. More tears fall freely from my eyes in happiness. Jayden is okay. Hold it a second. What the hell is going on? Jay, I shout, leaning into the bars as if I could squeeze through them somehow. Melody. Thank God you're okay, he states, coming to the front of my cell. I watch as he takes a chain full of keys out of his pocket. Luna Asher greets as Jayden attempts to find the right key. I see his fingers fumbling over the key's rein to be quick. I knew how he felt. I was agitated to see him, touch him, hold him. I leant out and grabbed his fumbling hands in my own. He looked up at me and let out a long, relieved sigh. I nodded at him with a smile before taking my hands away. I turn my eyes away from Jayden's as he continues with the keys. I look at Asher again and smile happily at him. Asher. It's been too long, I say with a sigh. I reach out and squeeze his hand. Thank you. Anytime, Melody, you know that. Finally, the click of the lock breaks the chit-chat and the door to my cell opens. In no less than a second, I am engulfed in Jayden's warm embrace. I instantly wrap my arms around his waist and hold him tight, feeling the need to make up for every hug we should have had since I got here. He holds me against his, and I feel as though we are forming one person instead of two by our right hold. He pulls out of our bare hug and pecks my lips. I smirk up at him, then turn to face the other two men. They smile warmly at us, but their eyes held urgency. I knew we didn't have time for any more than his, but my whole body aches to be continuously at skin's length with him. Well, back to reality for now. So what's going on? I've had this plan since the moment we found out you were being kept here. I had Eric come down here to keep an eye on you and report back using MindLink or the secret phone we gave him. After that, I had to get myself inside as well, which was easy. I had several pack members infiltrate some of the guards and maids here so they could steal keys and memorize the escape route. After that, it was all just a game of patience. I had to wait until everything was in place before we tried to escape. Then you were seriously injured and I knew it was now or never. Oh, I say, looking at the other guys before looking at my mate. I nod to him with a smile once more. I can't believe him. So what do we do now? Well, James will have his own guards, so there is no doubt that we will have to fight our way out of here. We have managed to get ourselves key cards for the elevators and stair doors, so there is no problem being able to escape. We will just have to hope we all get out of here in time. Are you ready? His arm stretches out, and he places his palm out for me to grab. Excitement grips me tightly as the first sign of finally being free from this place appears. My savior stands before me with a soft smile and his arm stretched towards me. I knew he would come. After all he's told me before, he would do anything to protect me. Even if that meant he got himself caught and put in potential danger. Which is exactly what I didn't want, but at least he is here with me now. I know that he loves me and I know that he knows I love him. As long as I know that, I can die happy. Ready, I nod and grip his hand in mine. He nods in reply, and he heads out of the cell that has kept me captive all this time. Let's go, Jay tells the others who have gathered around us. We rush up the stairs and I wince at the bright white lights of the corridors. My heart beats faster from excitement as I watch my cell disappear from view. The familiar white corridors haunt me as we wander through the maze, trying to escape. I tighten my grip on Jayden as we race through the corridor, my bare feet slapping against the tiles on the floor. All of a sudden, a group of guards speed around the corner in front of us. In an eye stand, Jay and the other wolves snarl loudly before racing towards them at top speed. Jayden lets go of my hand and pounces on the lead guard. I watch as another guard races towards me. I growl at him and clench my fiat. When he is finally close enough, I punch him square in the face with all my strength. He falls to the ground unconscious. A sharp pain travels up my side as a guard punches my stomach, right on my fresh wounds. Anger flows through me like lava in that moment. These assholes have treated me like trash for weeks. They've caused me physical and mental pain. They need to suffer because I won't allow others to go through this. I snarl ferociously at him, then watch his eyes widen in fear. That's right, asshole. Be scared. I lift up my leg and kick him in the stomach, which sends him flying down the hall. I watch as his body stops sliding down the corridors and he is not trying to get up. Good. The anger in my veins is now burning at my skin. Melody J calls for me. I turn on my heels and look at him. Instantly, I start to calm down. I walk over to him briskly. He grabs my hand again before we step over the bodies to carry on down the corridors. We need to get out of here. Now. Sharp pains are flowing through my abdomen, but I ignore them. I'm a wolf, I will heal. They are only gunshot wounds. Not far now. The other wolves are following and more keep joining us. They all nod to me as we race through the maze of white corridors. I didn't realize Jayden had gotten so many wolves to come along with him on his possible suicide mission. We come to an intersection in the corridors and slow down. I look around to the right corridor and a growl escapes my mouth at the sight of James and his minions. I hold out my hand to the others behind me to stop them and turn to Jay. Stay here. You'll have to surprise him. I step out before Jay or the other wolves from my pack could stop me. I stand up straight and my whole body goes tense at the sight of him and his horrid smirk. Oh, how I want to smack that stupid smirk off his face, the asshole. Ah, Melody, he says with a short, raspy laugh. You didn't think you could escape, did you? On the contrary, I think I'm doing a great job at escaping, I speak up, folding my arms over my chest. His smirk falters slightly, but he soon decomposes himself. He takes a couple of steps forward, making my whole body go stiff. I don't trust him at all. Obviously. I growl at him in warning, but he doesn't stop. I uncross my arms and stand ready to pounce if I need to. He looks too happy for a man who has not got the majority of his guards. Behind him stands 5 of the biggest guards that I've seen around here. Cheeky sod. He stops halfway down the corridor and raises a gun at me. My breath hitches in my throat. My hands have started to go clammy. Memories of the torture I went through because of him flood my mind. My head starts to pound and it makes me feel weak and small. He has shot me before, so I know it would be easy for him to pull the trigger at any moment. I have to play this carefully if I want to live. In my peripheral vision, I notice that most of the wolves, including Jayden, have gone. Only Eric and 2 other soldiers are there. I can see Eric's forehead is crinkled due to him frowning. I can tell he is listening intently. He is waiting to intervene. Yes, well done, Melody. You did a great job, but now it's time to stop, he says, pointing the gun directly at my chest. He is only a few steps away and my wolf itches to take him down. Never, I snarl. I move my body into a defensive position as I watch the gun in his hand carefully. He smirks and shakes the gun around, making me feel skittish and fearful. I wouldn't do that if I were you, a familiar warning voice speaks up. Jayden appears from the shadows behind James. He now holds a gun that is currently pointed directly at James. The guards behind James all turn their guns towards Jayden, but all of a sudden wolves surround them. I'm a blink of an eye, they have disarmed all guards and knocked them all out. Well, crap. Well, Will, if it's the newcomer. I knew you would cause trouble. I should have guessed it was all for her. He points the fun towards me again. I stand up tall and try to make myself look brave. I swallow the fear that has started to build up. Eric has started to twitch from the sidelines. He is dying to intervene. Drop the gun. Now Jayden commands, press the gun to James' head. I saw James' eye dart to the corner as if he was trying to see Jayden. Instead of turning to Jayden or dropping his weapon, his eyes go back to mine and his smirk reappears. Checkmate. That's all I hear before a gunshot rings through the corridor. Chapter 28. Everything was in slow motion. I could feel the tension of the room as the bullet flies around the room towards its victim. Me. I look to Jayden, who is trying to get to me, but he's too slow. The bullet is in the lead. I never imagined this is how my life would be. Standing here looking at the man I love when being so close to dying. I don't want to die. No, I don't. I have a pack to live for. I have a family to live for. I have a mate to live for. Jayden needs me just like I would need him. I can't just leave him. Not now. Not when we are just starting our lives together. I mean, for goodness sake, I was taken the day after we fully mated. I haven't gotten to enjoy a life with my mate after finally committing to him. I won't leave him. I want to grow old with him and laugh about the good old days. I want us to be old and wrinkly, sitting in rocking chairs side by side and talking from sunrise to sunset. I want us to have a family. I want to watch Jayden as he sees his first child being born, or the first time our child takes its first step. I want to watch him being called daddy by our kids. I want us to build our life together. I want us to run the pack and the kingdom together. We will make it a better and safer place. We would be fair and kind. I want us to have time together away from the castle, maybe in our own beach house somewhere where we would go every chance we got for a break. I want to go to sleep every night in his arms. I want to wake up to his soft kisses on my head as he whispers good morning to me. I am not going to give up on the world or Jayden because of an old man who thinks testing on supernatural human beings is the right way to go. He thinks torturing us is right and therefore would help the human race. They didn't care what happens to us. James is still smirking as the bullet is closing in on me. I have to make my decision and fast. Do I give up and let myself die, or shall I fight my way out of this and live? There is only one right answer. I want to live. I quickly dive to the side, allowing the bullet to pass me and hit the wall behind me. Everything goes back to normal and Jayden grabs me as soon as he reaches me. Are you okay? He says just before another gunshot rings through the corridor, making me jump in fright. I turn just in time to watch James' lifeless body fall to the floor. I look up to see the warrior that shot him bowing to Jayden and I. Melody, Jayden urges, and I turn to him instantly. As soon as our eyes meet, I jump on him and pull him into the tightest hug. I love you, Jayden. So much, I whisper in his ear as his arms wrap around me in our embrace. I love you too, Melody. I'm so glad you're alive, he says, pulling away from the hug to peck my lips. I pull him back to my lips quickly, wanting more. My wolf is starved. We haven't seen our mate in months, and now I am finally out of James' clutches. I have Jayden back. I run my hands in his hair and tug, slightly making Min growl lowly at me. His grip tightens on my waist as he kisses me harder, as if I was going to disappear. I press my lips to him one more time before pulling away slightly. Our breathing was heavy as our lips were millimeters apart, and our breaths are shared. "Let's go home," Jayden whispers against my lips. I smile, biting my lip, and nod. Pulling out of his arms was a struggle, but I grabbed his hand instead. And with that, we walked out of the dreaded white corridors and towards somewhere that I've been dreaming of since the first day of arriving here. Home. 3 weeks later. I let out a long yawn as I stretch my tired limbs underneath the soft duvet covers of the bed. Although it's been just over 3 weeks, since coming home I will never take these comfy duvet covers again. They're like a cloud or a ball of cotton candy that you can just melt into. A strong arm rests over my stomach as I lie on my back. The touch of his arm is hot against the bare skin of my stomach. I knew it was a bad idea to fall asleep naked last night, not his touch, and the nakedness makes me want him again. Do you blame me? I've been a wolf starved. I turn on my side and look at my mate's sleeping figure. Soft snores are escaping his open mouth and his face is relaxed. He always looks so innocent when he is sleeping, which is not what he looks like when he is awake. I wish we could stay in bed like this forever, him holding me close until it's time for us to awaken from slumber. Since we came home, I've mostly been resting or sleeping after being ordered by Jayden and the pack doctor to. I didn't take it too seriously and thought she only meant a few days. However, Jayden decided I had to rest for these last 3 weeks, but then again he was the one to see me in that place, and how horrible it was. The bed was creaky and made out of a paper-thin mattress, so sleep wasn't exactly easy. I was severely sleep-deprived and I had lost a lot of weight. After all, they barely fed me half the time or the food was not edible. Then they would make me do things including excessive exercise, so I lost weight. Jayden has been trying to get me to eat, but I don't want to. I know that sounds like I'm trying to be difficult or attention-seeking, but I just can't bring myself to eat. The doctor, on my 5th visit in like a day, said that it was most likely my system had started to become accustomed to small meals once a day. She said it wasn't healthy and I shouldn't eat so little anymore. I have another doctor's visit today to ensure everything is fine. I feel as though I am perfectly well, especially when Jayden is beside me, but the memories are still inked into my brain. They come and go through the night. The first few days back I woke up screaming and it took some convincing from Jayden to get me back to sleep. Morning. Jayden's husky morning voice wakes me from my thoughts and I instantly smile. I look at him as he leans forward and pecks my lips. "Good morning," I say breathlessly as he rests his head against mine. We stay like that for what seems like forever, sharing breaths as we stay in each other's embrace. "We should get up." I break the silence, feeling the time whiz past us even though it's been minutes. I have to go see Dr. Lillian soon. Jayden sits up and rests on his arm. He looks down at me worriedly. His hand gently strokes my cheek before he speaks. "You feeling better?" he asks, making me smile at his caring attitude. "I'm fine as long as you're here," I say, grabbing his hand and place a soft kiss on his knuckles and then the back of his hand. I let out a long sigh, then get up and out of the covers that are holding in the warmth. A shiver runs up my spine as the cold breeze from the open window hits my bare skin. I pad my way to the bathroom and shut the door on a lustful growl from Jayden. Oh God, I forgot I was naked. I grab my underwear from where I left it in the bathroom and slip them on. I sigh in relief as my private areas are finally covered from the cold wind. I jump when Jayden opens the bathroom door and pokes his head in. He smirks at me, making me raise my eyebrow at him and questions. "You're so beautiful," he says, leaning on the door frame as his eyes capture mine in their stare. I feel my cheeks heat up, so I reach over and slap Jayden on the chest. "Stop making me blush." "Ow." "Damn, you slap hard," he says, coming up behind me and wrapping his arms around my waist. "Jay," I say, looking at our reflection in the mirror. I laugh slightly as he ducks his head down so we can see each other in the mirror. "Yes, Luna," he chuckles against the neck of my skin, making pleasuring vibrations run through my body. His breath is so close to my mark. "You're crazy, Alpha," I breathe out in a laugh and I turn around in his arms that are looped around my waist. "But I am your crazy Alpha," he counteracts. "I love you." I change the topic when our eyes meet. My heart swells at the loving emotions swirling in his electric eyes. Being away from him for so long taught me how much I love Jayden and how I do not want to live my life without him by my side. I love you too. I don't say it enough, but I do. Melody. I promise you, you have my heart until I die and beyond. That he places his hot lips against mine, making me gasp slightly in surprise. My arms immediately go around his neck to pull him closer. Our skin is touching, making sparks fly and pleasure flow through my body. Suddenly, all I want is for the clothes I am wearing to be on the floor and to be back in bed with Jayden. It doesn't help that he is still stark naked. His lips move hungrily against mine. He bites my lip, asking for entrance, but I don't let him. Not yet. He growls against my lips, making a smirk grow on my lips as we kiss. His hand suddenly moved from my back to my breast. His finger sneaks under the thin material of my bra, making me gasp. He takes the opportunity to put his tongue in my mouth. My oxygen levels were deteriorating, and my head had started to spin, making me feel nauseous in return. I don't want to pull away. I want to kiss him for all eternity, and I know that if it were possible, that is all we would be doing. Unfortunately, life will get in the way. We'll have royal duties, pack duties, and we will no doubt start our own family. Before I could pull away, Jayden does. I grip his shoulders tightly and gasp for air. My chest aches from the lack of oxygen. What is wrong with me? Jayden isn't like this. Maybe it is yet another side effect of my time in hell. 20 minutes, and a few more kisses later, Jayden and I are walking hand in hand towards the infirmary. It is a normal Saturday morning here with lots and lots of rain, but I couldn't care less. All I know is that as long as there is fresh air and my mate next to me, I will be fine. We walk along the path in a slow dawdle. Pack members wave and nod at us, making my heart swell. I'm so lucky that the royal pack accepted me as their next Luna Queen. I look up as the infirmary comes into view. Well, it is time for another trip down memory lane with Dr. Lillian and psychologist Maisie. Chapter 29. Mikey, I swear to God, I'll rip you in half if you don't get the hell off me, I shout in anger. My elder brother Mikey sits on top of me while I lay innocently on my bed, previously fast asleep in comfort. He's such an idiot. He does realize I could scream and guards would stream through the door to have him arrested or worse, taken to Jayden. Now, Jayden would be frightening in that situation. I've seen his protective and possessive side. Sometimes it is not a pretty picture. I will when you say I'm the best brother in the world, he says, poking his tongue out at me. I grumble out profanities and attempt to move, but I don't get very far. You're such a lump, Mikey. Get off me now, I shout, trying to hit him, but he doesn't even flinch. It's all the muscles, Melody. Muscle mass, not fat, he says, tapping my nose, making my anger soar. I don't give a rat's bum if it's muscle mass, which it isn't, or fat, which it is, so get the hell off me. I am not your personally weighing scales. He mimics me in a high-pitched, whining voice, making me smack his leg, but he just wriggles his bottom, making me groan as it puts pressure on my chest. I'm going to kill you, Mikey, I try to shout, but it comes out in a breath as he does a little jump on me. Mikey. Ow. You're going to break my ribs. Well, you should have been nicer to me last night, then he says with a nod of his head, obviously pleased with his reason for destroying my lung capacity. I let out a long, exasperated groan and throw my head into the pillow for a couple of seconds before resurfacing for air. He is referring to last night when my family arrived at the castle, 4 weeks after my return. It took a while because of duties and the fact I had no time due to hospital appointments, and I wasn't ready for my parents' worried questions. Jayden's worrying was enough to last a lifetime. And their thing is I will be getting a lifetime of worrying from him. 1, I live with him, and 2, his alpha status and power means his possessive and protectiveness is like quadrupled. Well, last night we were all sitting in Kate and Russell's private living room chatting and eating delicious homemade pizza. I decided that I was going to eat the last piece of pizza, not knowing that Mikey had called dibs. Now he is sitting on me while causing me pain. How is this fair? I mean, I know Mikey loves his food, especially pizza, but I would have thought he'd love me more. But nope, he is hurting me because I ate his pizza. Melody, say it. Suddenly an idea pops into my mind. I smirk evilly. He is such an idiot for running into my bedroom in the morning when I have woken up. Jayden had to leave 10 minutes earlier for an early morning meeting, leaving me to sleep peacefully. That didn't work out. Mikey, I say, pretending to sound nervous. naked." He screamed and ran out of the room quickly, all the while shouting sorry. I laugh and throw the covers off, revealing my pajamas. Thankfully, I was not naked yet. My clothes were still not suitable for my brother, I suppose. Last night, when finally getting into bed, I decided on a simple tank top and shorts. Jayden had complained that I wasn't naked. While with a little persuasion that I was too cold and tired, he finally backed down and took to cuddling instead. That's how I ended up tightly wrapped in his arms and legs. It's been the same since I came back. The nightmares still haunt me. I look at the range of orange bottles of pills laying untouched on the side of the bed. Sleeping pills for the nightmares, but I won't touch them. They make them worse, but there is no point telling Lillian that. She will only worry, and so will Jay. She also gave me an asthma pump, which is ridiculous because werewolves aren't able to have asthma, but she told me it was for when I get out of breath. It happens a lot lately. Apparently it is due to the poor care I was given. It was also due to the fact I had several broken ribs that had gone unnoticed. "Lo, you up?" Jayden's masculine voice slips into my mind, and a smile instantly graces my lips. I get up instantly as I feel more awake, along with my wolf who has finally come back. "Yes, I am." I speak through mind link as I walk to the bathroom. "Meet me in my office when you're ready." Okay, I won't be long. Time for a quick shower, I think. Walking down the familiar corridors towards the office, I bump into pack members and a few pack warriors. I politely greet them before carrying on towards my destination. I flinch as the white corridors flash in front of my eyes. Damn it. I shake my head and frown. Not now. "Luna," I hear the familiar voice of Jet, one of the newer guards. He is only 19, but he's been training to be a pack warrior for 3 years. He happened to be one of the warriors who had come to rescue me. It was his first job as a really warrior, poor thing. "Oh, hey Jet, how are you?" I ask, outing a smile on and standing up straight. He looks worried, but that's nothing new anymore. I think that Jay has told everyone to keep a close eye on me. I hate it. It makes me feel like a China doll. "I'm great. I'm just heading out to patrol." "Are you all right?" he says, standing in front of me with his arms crossed. "I'm absolutely fine, thank you for your concern," I say, still smiling. "I have to meet Jay now, but I'll see you later." "Okay, see you later, Luna." He waves me off with a grin. I give him a small wave before I turn around the corner. Phew. I take a couple more turns before I come face to face with the grand door to Jay's office. I gently push at the door, making it squeak open. "Hello," my mate's confused voice questions just before I slip through the open door. He is sitting behind his desk that is splattered in papers. His black glasses are sitting atop his nose and his face is in a frown. "Hey," I greet, closing the door behind me. He instantly stands and clambers around his desk. When he is in arm's distance, he grabs my waist and pulls me in for a hug. "You all right?" Jay whispers in my ear, making a shiver go down my back. "I'm fine, Jay," I sigh, pulling away slightly so I can see his face, which is still turned down in a frown. "Okay, as long as you're sure," he says with a curt nod. He leans down and pecks my lips just as there is a knock on the door. Jay lets out a groan but pecks my lips again before shouting, "Come in." As the person opens the door, Jay pulls me around his desk to sit on his lap while he sits on his chair behind his desk. His arms circle around my middle, making a smile grace my face. I turn towards the door to see Kate and Russell. I smile warmly and wave as they walk in. "Mother." Father Jay greets, nodding his head rather formally. "What can I do for you?" "Well, Jayden. And Melody, of course. We have decided that we would like to step down as king and queen." I shot up out of Jayden's lap in sheer panic. A thick layer of sweat already starts to form on the back of my neck and my palms start getting clammy. I look at the still smiling Kate and Russell with confusion. Don't get me wrong, I want to be queen and help Jayden with the royal duties, but so soon. I thought that they would wait longer than this considering what has happened. I suppose it's good in a way. They don't see me as broken china that needs to be stepped around carefully. I know that somehow the moon goddess believed that I was made for this, but right now. I jump slightly when Jayden leaps out of his chair to comfort me, as if it's instinct by now. I hate it. It makes me angry. I mean, I love him to bits, but I don't like being treated like I'm broken goods. He puts his hand in mine and stands almost behind me. His lips are once again next to my ear, but he doesn't say anything. I don't need him to. I'm fine, or at least I will be once everyone believes that I am not broken. I look up at Kate and Russell once again to see them nervously waiting our response. I take a deep breath and squeeze Jayden's hand gently. Why have you decided this now? Jay asks with his own smile. His face really does brighten when he has a smile. His normal face usually looks stern and grumpy. Well, we were talking about how nice it would be to go on holiday together, but with duties it's difficult to leave the castle, Russell explains, putting an arm around his wife lovingly. So we thought, why not now? I mean, you two are fully mated and you're both old enough to rule. Jayden, your father has trained you better than his father trained him. And Melody, you took to my training like a pro. We know you two will do great, so we know that now we can leave. Kate says, reaching over to grab my free hand. We all look at each for a few seconds, trying to digest the information Jay and I have just been hit with.
We were going to be king and queen. How crazy is that?
I went from not believing in mates to having the cutest, hottest, most caring mate that is future king. I look up at Jayden to see what he is thinking. His face is full of excitement, and I can see the nerves in his eyes. His emotions reflect my own. Jayden looks down and catches my eyes. The grin on his face widens as he stares at me. He nods his head slowly and I realize. We're both agreeing.
This is actually happening.
Are you ready? Jay asks. I feel his thumb caressing my hand softly and my nerves start to calm down. If you're ready, then I'm ready to rule with you, I say, smiling. My lips ache touches, so I go onto my tiptoes and peck his lips. It only lasted a couple of seconds, but it was a kiss I would remember for the rest of my life. The kiss that sealed our future. We pull away and give each other a nod of confirmation. Kate. Russell, I speak out, stopping their private conversation. We would be honored to accept your resignation from King and Queen. The first, believe you're right, is about time that Melody and I stepped up and started out life as King and Queen. Jayden finishes, and by the one he has finished we are pulled into a group hug by Kate and Russell. Thank you, they both laugh. The elders can finally go on their romantic holiday without any worries about duties. And you two can rule together, and trust me, it's not as bad as it may seem. It's mostly fun, especially being Luna. Luckily, I'm the Luna. I laugh when Jayden pouts as we all hug in the middle of Jayden's office. Chapter 30 Finale. 2 weeks later. She was found dead in her room. What? How did she die? Nerves have eaten her alive. I think that's a good excuse. Yes, is a great excuse. I shall tell a guard to say that to Jayden. No, it's not. Crap puffs. I can't say that. How am I going to do this? Why the hell did I agree 2 weeks ago? This is ridiculous. I'm going to be queen today. I can't do this, Willow, I say, going to sit down on the bed, but Willow is quick to push me away. I scowl at her in return. Don't ruin the dress. It took us long enough to get you in it. I growl in annoyance, but she just smirks evilly at me. It's not my fault. I panicked, and I wasn't that bad. I cross my arms and huff. Weren't that bad? She questions, looking at me with amuse-filled eyes. You practically said every excuse in the book, tried to climb out the window and locked yourself in the bathroom for half an hour. I chuckle nervously. Okay, fine, I'm a nervous wreck. So maybe I should actually climb out the window now. You dare. You're in your dress now and you look gorgeous, Lodi. You can't back out now. Plus, Jayden is waiting for you. I let out a long whine as I walked towards the mirror. I suppose I'm becoming queen today then. I look through the mirror and see the finished look. My dress is a light shade of white with lace around the shoulders and on my back. Then the lace pattern on the back finished with a cute bow. My makeup is minimal at my request and natural. My eyeliner is thin with a small cat flick at the end, and the shade of my eyeshadow is only a shade darker than my skin. My lipstick is a natural color which easily matches the rest of my makeup. For once I look nice, not wearing leggings and one of Jay's jumpers. Are you ready? Willow appears to the side of me. Her face is filled with happiness as she looks at me rough the mirror. You look amazing, Melody. You're going to do great today. Thanks, Willow. I turn around and pull her in for a big hug. I hope so. I think I'm just nervous because so many people will be here. I know the grand hall is packed. Whoops. Sorry, It's not that bad," she stammers, suddenly looking shy and slightly scared. "Okay, well, let's get this thing going, shall we?" Yes, Willow takes my hand and we start walking down the hallways that I've finally become accustomed to. "So tell me, how does this work again?" "Well, you and Jayden will walk down one staircase while Russell and Kate will walk down the opposite staircase. You meet on the platform where the stairs meet. This is where the bishop will complete the ceremony and crown you. Then you walk down the final middle staircase and through the crowd. After that, Russell and Kate will make a speech while you and Jay have a couple of minutes to let it sink in before you are welcomed back into the grand hall, being announced as king and queen." Just as she finished, we turned the corner where the doors to the top of the staircases were located. There stood, talking in a circle, Russell, Kate, and my mate. "This is where I leave you," Willow whispers, letting go of my hand and pulling me into one big hug before she walks away. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. Everything is going to be okay. You'll be fine out there. You are not going to make a complete fool over you. You will not trip of this gorgeous dress with you high heels that you did not agree on wearing. I jump as a hand wraps around my wrist, but let out a breath of relief when the warmth spreads through my skin. "Jayden." I smile when his hot breath fans my ear. His back is pressed against mine as his arms circle around my waist. "You look stunning, Melody," he whispers before spinning me around quickly. Thank God for his arms around my waist, or I would have fallen on my behind. "Well, don't you look handsome yourself, Jay?" I say, looking him up and down. He is wearing a gorgeous suit fit for a king. The jacket is black in color but has an embroidered pattern in gold. He had medals hanging from his left pec that's glare from the sun shining through the window. His belt is shining gold, similar to the medals, and a sword is fitted into the holster on the left side of the belt. "What's the sword for?" I question, gently tracing it with my finger. He looks at my hand, then back up to me. "It's tradition to carry the family sword when being crowned, plus it looks cool to me. If I'm honest, it makes me feel like a real knight in a storybook." "But you're not the knight in this story," I say, stepping closer. Now centimeters from his lips, "You're the king." Almost, he says, pecking my lips with a smile on his lips. "You, my Melody, are the queen." Almost I mimic, making him give me a playful growl. I smirk and give him a quick peck on the lips. "Your Highnesses, are you ready? A royal guard call us just before Jayden can pull me in for another kiss." "We will be there in just a moment," Jayden replies, glancing at the guard before turning back to me. He grins down at me, making sparks fly down my spine. "Ready?" he asks, holding his hand out for me. "Ready as I'll ever be," I reply with a smile. And with that, I take his hand. "My queen," Jay whispers as we walk out of the royal ballroom. The tiara on my head makes me feel unbalanced, but the joy I feel is unimaginable. Currently, we are on our way back to our room. The ceremony ended up lasting just over 3 hours, but they seemed to fly by. 1 minute we had entered the ballroom and the next we were crowned. "My king," I reply, grabbing his hand and pulling him into me for a kiss. He presses his lips to mine passionately, and I can feel the sparks coming from him as our lips move together. I pull away too soon, making him growl at me. He stares down at me with a scowl, but it soon turns back into his happy smile. "Come on, let's head back," he says, pulling my back towards our quarters. "Wait," I say, gripping his hand and causing him to halt. A flash of worry sprints trough his eyes, but it soon disappears after I smile. "Let's go for a walk." "I don't want to go back yet," I say, running my thumb over his knuckles as I do. He grabs my thumb with his hand and bends down to place a chaste kiss there. "Okay, but there may be pack members around that want to chat. Plus there's so much to do in our bedroom," he whispers cheekily, moving closer and placing a kiss on my mark. I let out a moan involuntarily and grip his hands even harder. This makes him smirk and he moves back to look into my eyes. "Well, maybe we should just up to our room," then I say, pushing him slightly so head towards our room. He catches me up instantly and stops me by standing in my way. "You're going the wrong way," he states with a smile, and I can feel the excitement rolling off him. I look up at him and raise my eyebrow, then glance down the corridor. "I'm not. This is the way back to the room," I reply, confused, and point down the corridor where I was heading. He shakes his head and chuckles. "Nope, you're not. Just follow me, okay?" he says, interlocking our fingers and pulling me in the opposite direction to where I was heading. Okay, I draw her slowly. We head around a corner and come to a spiral staircase behind a door. He pulls me up the couple of flights of stairs until we're met with another door. "Where are we?" I ask, looking around to see if I could see any clues that would answer my question. "We're at the very top of the castle. Well, apart from the towers, of course," he says. "This is our new quarters. As we are king and queen, we get the highest room in the castle." My mouth practically hits the floor as he opens the door. A living room is the first thing that welcomes me as I walk in the door. 2 couches are placed in an L shape on a large pale blue colored rug. A large flat-screen TV is placed on a small table opposite the couches. One wall is completed with floor-to-ceiling windows so you can see all over the forest. You can see the entire territory and the training grounds. I turn to grin at Jayden before talking a few steps until I reach the windows. I can feel Jayden behind me and he wraps his arms around my waist. I can see the small silhouettes of people training and people having picnics in the large patch of grass nearby. I smile. They're not officially my pack members. I move out of Jay's arms and walk towards the open kitchen. It's not big, but it's perfect for just Jayden and I. A silver fridge and oven are placed side by side with a few marbled-topped counters. In the middle there is island with stools all around it. "Hey Melody, come this way," Jay says, grabbing my hand once again and pulling me through the living room. We come to a small corridor and I stop. 5 doors are lined up along the corridor. 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and 1 right on the end. I look up at Jay, who nods towards them. I open the first door and find a large bathroom. A bathtub is placed in the far corner next to more floor-to-ceiling windows. A shower big enough for Jay and I is opposite. Then a toilet and sink is to the left of the door. I open the next 3 doors to find the same thing. A small, plain, empty room, but I knew what they were for, our pups, when we have them. I turn towards the final door and the excitement bubbles in my stomach. This must be Jay and I's room. I turn to smile at Jay, but he wasn't there. Maybe he already went in. I push the door and it swings open. I gasp at the beauty of the room in front of me. The 3 walls are covered in the floor-to-ceiling windows, making the room brighten up from the sun. A large open walk-in closet is placed just beside the door, and I notice all our clothes are already neatly placed inside. A 4-posted bed is placed in the middle of the room with the top end pushed against the only wall. Gold spirals are down into the beautiful duvet. Either side is a nightstand with lights have matching lampshades to the bed. "Do you like it?" Jay asks, making me jump. I turn and find him coming out of the closet. He walks up to me and instantly wraps his arms tightly around my waist. I weave my arms around his neck and nod enthusiastically. "I love it, Jay. It's beautiful." "Not as beautiful as you, love," he says, kissing my forehead softly. I smile at the cheesiness of his statement. "I love you," I whisper sincerely. "I love you too, so much. I can't wait to start my life with you, my queen." I pull him down and crash my lips onto his. He instantly kisses me back, and the kiss holds so many emotions and promises. A promise to be together forever, no matter what happens.